So there's a bit of a story behind this Lego and I wanted to talk about that, but I thought I would build this model while I talk to you. So there's basically two parts I wanted to talk about in this video. One, the story about how I came about buying this Lego set and why I bought it, and I also wanted to talk about the process behind making that decision because it's something that I actually use for my whole life now. And then alongside that I wanted to talk about play and how that's been important for me over the last 6 months too. So firstly, I randomly bought this Lego because I got given £100 by my bank for no apparent reason whatsoever, not because I had any interest coming in or anything from money I held in the bank, but simply just because they gave all their customers £100. So it was just completely chunk of money out of the blue, and I had to decide what I wanted to do with it, whether I wanted to spend it or whether I wanted to invest it. I already have an investment account that I regularly put money into, but it was just an opportunity to add more to it if I wanted to, or I could just do something fun with it. So I kind of asked people on Instagram what they thought I should do, and most people were just like, just do something fun, just buy some Lego, do something interesting with it. But I then wanted to just sit on it and see what my emotional authority would tell me about it. So this emotional authority is something I've learned from a system called human design, which I've been learning about over the last 6 months, and it's been very, very helpful for me to learn more about myself and my personality, how I make decisions best, and just what's the best way for me to kind of live my life with my personality. And one of the aspects of that is how I make decisions. So in the past, I've made decisions very much based on kind of logic, just what I think is the right thing to do in logically by weighing up different factors in the moment. But the problem with that is it can get very overwhelming at times, particularly if you've got lots of big decisions to make. If you're not sure on how to weigh up maybe different elements, things that are very, very different to one another. Like it's easy when you've got, say you're trying to buy a phone and you've got different features and you can just compare one feature to another, like different phone manufacturers have different sizes of hard drives on them, so you can compare those very easily. But when you're trying to compare things that are different, it's very hard. Okay, so that's the first bit done. It helps for me to ride out like the emotional wave, and you pick not the top or the bottom, top of the bottom of the wave, but you pick the middle part. So whatever I feel is the best decision when I'm at my kind of emotional level, that's the decision that's right for me. So sometimes it's less of an issue when you're doing something simple like what do I buy? But maybe when I'm feeling good, I want to buy like something for the long term, and when I'm not feeling so good, I want to buy something for the short term that's just going to bring me enjoyment in the present. And it can be easy to make a decision on either one of those. Like maybe the logical ones, I'll do something for the long term, and the less logical, more emotional perhaps decision is to make something purely just what's out of fun for you. But the decision that's right for me tends to be the one that I feel it makes the most sense when I'm in like my emotional level point. So that's what I kind of call clarity, and finding clarity it's more waiting for clarity than anything else. You already know what decisions you could make, but then it's waiting to see which one feels right over time. So I'm going to continue building this, and then I'll talk a bit more about it in a sec. So that's why I picked this model in the end. I just waited until I found clarity, which was to decide that there was this opportunity, and that kind of fulfilled what I wanted, so I could get the best of both worlds. So now I want to talk about like why I'm buying Lego in the first place, because it's not something I've bought until very recently. I used to play with Lego all the time when I was a kid. I used to have a massive collection of Lego, but I then stopped playing and stopped building it at one point, even though I quite enjoyed the building process quite a lot. But I didn't build any more for years until maybe a few months ago, when I bought my first set for the first time in a while. And the reason I did that was because I was starting to explore playing a bit more as a and just things that I generally enjoyed that maybe I'd given up since childhood, and in that process kind of lost a lot of joy in play and having fun and just doing things for the sake of enjoyment, not because there was any other motive for it, anything to gain out of doing it, but just simply because it was enjoyable. So Lego was one of the things that helped me reconnect with that, and it was really interesting because when I kind of dived into it and started doing it, my nervous system was actually very dysregulated from doing it. So nervous system dysregulation is a whole other thing, but maybe we'll talk about that at some other point. But it immediately started to make me feel quite anxious and panicky. And it's just because for so long I've just not allowed myself to do things just purely out of enjoyment. There was no benefit to me building Lego. It was just what I was doing for the fun, and I had to really kind of slow myself down and just enjoy it a bit more. So that's something that I've been trying to do a lot more recently, and then trying to bring that into my business too. That's what we're up to so far. Part of this experiment with play has been bringing it into my business. It's been so hard in some ways over the last number of years I've been running my business to get bogged down with all the things you've got to do to run a business, and all the different content you've got to create for marketing, all the products you've got to create, all the clients you're working with, expanding the business, working in the business. It can get pretty full on. So I think really bringing play, not just in doing stuff like this is just the free way to sort of bring that back into your life, because it can be so easy to cut it out altogether. But then bringing the feeling of doing something like this into running my business. So when I create products, doing it in a playful way, not putting so much pressure on everything being so successful. You can just create things for the fun of it, not having to do so much planning ahead of time, but just iterating it as you go along. And it's been a lot more freeing for me to just do stuff that's enjoyable. For example, I never would have created a video like this before to speak about these kind of things, and ultimately to promote my business, to market my business. I never would have done a video like this. It just didn't make any sense to me. But this is me bringing play into it, doing something that's a bit more interesting to watch and part of my personality, but with a story behind it and how it actually comes into my business marketing wise. That's something that I'm really exploring. So that's an example of how I might actually bring play into my business. Cool, so that's it finished. I've really found it helpful bringing play into my business so far. It's something I'm going to keep experimenting with and seeing what comes of that over the next few months and the rest of the year. So I hope those kind of tips were helpful. Emotional authority and bringing play into your life in general, and also in business. So I'm going to be doing more videos like this, so hopefully this was kind of cool. I'll see you in the next video.